Biohazard 3 Last Escape, or Resident Evil 3 Nemesis if you prefer, that's what it's called in the West, it's the final of the classic trilogy of games, and the rough midpoint of what I call the classic era of the franchise. Aside from the remake of the first game, this is actually the one that I've played the most overall. I must have beaten this game dozens of times by this point. Granted, I haven't played it in a really long time, probably like a decade or more, but I do have very fond memories of it. I couldn't get enough of it when I was a kid, and this is the one that actually got me big into the franchise. So I'm really looking forward to going back to it and just kind of remembering it. Like most of the Resident Evil games, it actually has a very interesting development history. This time it's directed by neither Shinji Mikami or Hideki Kamiya. Directorial duty was given to Kazuhiro Ayama, who's been on the development team since the beginning. Shinji Mikami is credited as the producer again, but this makes 3 games in this trilogy where each entry has a different director. It's going to be a fun one to analyse because initially this game was conceived as a side story that didn't fit directly within the main series. It was being developed to tide us over while Capcom waited for the Hideki Kamiya directed PS2 Resident Evil game to be developed. Capcom were busy chaps at this time though, because they were also working on a Dreamcast and N64 Resident Evil games at the same time as this one. Of course, this all ended up with the Hideki Kamiya Resident Evil game becoming Devil May Cry. Dreamcast got Code Veronica, and the N64 game got cancelled. It was Resident Evil Zero. It got kind of pushed to the GameCube, so we got that much later on. Apparently, the world, the world just wasn't ready for Leech Wizards just yet. But most importantly, for right now, for us, Resident Evil Nemesis was bumped up to a numbered entry in the series. So we got this one as number 3. For a lot of people, this one is where the series kind of jumps the shark, but not for me. Not yet, anyway. I'm going to explain why, but first I feel like I need to explain what my prerequisites for calling something survival horror actually are. I feel I need to explain my opinion on this because survival horror as a genre, it was kind of made up for marketing. It's like a marketing buzzword more than it is like an actual genre, or was at this point in time. And what it exactly entails, it's incredibly vague and very subjective. For example, I once watched a video from a dude who said that Resident Evil 7, the closest the series has gotten to the first game since Remake 1, is not a survival horror game because it's in first person. Which, while being an absolutely ridiculous statement to make, does kind of show that people have wildly different opinions on what this subgenre of horror games actually is. So for me, a survival horror game is a horror-themed video game with tension at the forefront. It involves puzzle box design where a vulnerable and underarmed player has to overcome overwhelming odds. So combat doesn't have to be de-emphasized in the game, but it shouldn't be the main focus of the experience either. The survival mechanics like resource management, routing and planning, and the moment-to-moment decision making, I think all of that should take precedence in the game's design over combat. If you're going to add a robust combat system in, then I think it needs to mesh well with the survival mechanics, not nullify them. So, by this metric, I'd say that Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 are absolutely survival horror games, and 4, 5, and 6 aren't. 7 is, and 8's a bit of a wild card. Like, I'm sure we'll get to 8 someday. And as an aside, yes, I do think that Bloodborne is a survival horror game because I'm not a coward, and I stick to my definitions because it fits in with that definition. So, Resident Evil 3, it is pushing it, I'll admit, but I still think it qualifies, or at least this version of this game qualifies. Really just for one big giant leather-clad reason, and we'll get into that. And no, I don't think Resident Evil has to be a survival horror game to qualify as part of the franchise. All of the games are Resident Evil games, you can tell, because it says Resident Evil on the box, and it's not really up to me to decide what's part of the series anyway. I just think that the survival horror ones are the best ones. Anyway, shut up and play the game, Amy.
Resident Evil.
It all began as an ordinary day in September. An ordinary day in Raccoon City. A city controlled by Umbrella. No one dared to oppose them, and that lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction. I suppose they had to suffer the consequences of their actions, but there would be no forgiveness. If only they had had the courage to fight. It's true that once the wheels of justice begin to turn, nothing can stop them. Nothing. It was Raccoon City's last chance, and my last chance. My last escape.
This is Chopper Delta, preparing to drop off at area E95070. Over.
What are they?
Waiting orders. Over. All units proceed to Richmond and Victoria. All right.
Let's do it. Let's move. Go, 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 go. Fire. Come and get it. Son of a. Everywhere. Don't give up. They're too many. Don't hold back. No. Where are they? Where did they come from? It's pointless. Take this. Die. You want some more?
You say that now, Jill, but, you know, this franchise isn't over. Resident Evil 3! You start off with tutorials, which I'll talk about more later. You also have gunpowder and things like that, but I'll talk about it when it's relevant. Let's just avoid zombies first.
September 28th, daylight. The monsters have overtaken the city. Somehow, I'm still alive. Okay, we've got to get out of here.
What? What do you think you're talking about? I just lost my daughter out there! How dare you tell me to go back outside?
I'm sorry about your daughter, but there isn't gonna be any rescue. We have to get out of here.
No! I'm not going anywhere! I'd rather starve to death in here than be eaten by one of those undead monsters! Now leave me alone! I told you! I'm not leaving! Never!
Look at that poor UV mapping job they've done at the side of that door. Terrible. Worst game ever. Speaking of graphics, actually, this game did something unheard of by modern standards, and the pre-rendered backgrounds, much more detailed even still, but the character models are actually less detailed in this game than they are in Resident Evil 2. You may notice Jill looks a lot more boxy than Claire did, and that's because they're using less polygons. What they've done is they've favoured gameplay over graphics. The reason the characters are more boxy, and you'll see this in the zombies as well, is so they can put more zombies on screen at once. Imagine if a game favoured gameplay over graphics nowadays. Imagine where we'd be. So this is Resident Evil 3. It's structured very differently, we'll find, to the first two games. It still has all its survival horror jobbers going on, but already we're in a safe room. Talk about gunpowder in a little while. For now, I'm just going to dump it in the chest. Also, the knife is in the chest by default. It knows. At this point, it knows exactly what kind of game it is. Put the reloading tool away. Again, I'll explain all that in a little bit. And we absolutely don't need to save it yet. Cool, let's go. So that guy's not coming with us. He's made his mind up. Also, biggest gameplay improvement. I don't have to press the action button to run up and down steps anymore. It's taken them this long to have that in. And then in Code Veronica on the Dreamcast, they kind of regress backwards. So there's our tutorial on how items and keys work. And this one. So like the second game, sorry, we start off in Raccoon City. And there are a lot more zombies. At least Speedy. He's very speedy. Let's leave. We'll leave and come back. See if they've separated a little bit now. He's not dead. No, he's dead. Get down here. I think there's a zombie down here too? Yeah, I remember. I remember games. And straight away we get the shotgun. And some lighter fluid, which we will need shortly, if I remember correctly. I do remember this game quite well, or at least the intro to this game quite well. Is there a zombie out there? There is. Where are you? Come on! Okay, he's gone past, he's done, he's had enough. Is it this way? I can't remember. I don't think it is. I think it's over to the right. Yeah, I'm not sure what's this way, actually. More zombos, I expect. Oh yeah, I remember. This just goes around in a circle. That's locked from the other side. So it's this way we need to go. I don't want to use up all my ammo, and there's a very good reason why that is. I want to see if I can get around him, but it's not looking likely, is it? Nope. There we go. zombies actually seem a little slower to react on this game than they do on the second one. And I think they did that intentionally because there's just so many of them. Well, that guy's not having a good time, is he? And here we get the map. So this is our first area, Uptown. So right away, it's kind of telling us where we need to go with the flashing blue, the flashing blue boxes. But you'll notice the level design is slightly different, right? For the first time, we haven't immediately entered an area that is separated by wings. I think I made a mistake here, actually. Because we get some red herbs in a sec. I might leave that. What do I want to do? Let's just do this, and then take this one. So yeah, the zombies seem a little less dangerous. They're more dangerous in numbers than they are individually now. But they do kind of put them in choke points where you have to try and get around them still. The guy's shooting at zombies over there. Oh, hello! Oh, that's too slow. Let's go around. Awesome, so he killed one of them for us at least. So this is Brad from the first game, the helicopter pilot who left us to die. So I think I'll do the same. Also, you may notice we're getting 30 bullets at a time per pickup this time, than 15 before.
Brad, hang in there. Why isn't someone doing something about this?
I didn't know you were still alive, Jill. The police aren't trained for this kind of situation. What could they do? Listen, he's coming for us. We're both gonna die.
What are you saying?
You'll see. He's after STARS members. There's no escape.
Good old positivity Brad, they call him. A picture postcard of a clock tower. The following explanation is printed on the back side. A landmark spot, St. Michael Clock Tower. So we combine those two together and we get the lighter. Oh, I ran right into that one. Don't want to take too much damage, I need supplies. And those that have played this game before know exactly why I need supplies. Many zombies! So we all know what red barrel means though, right? The universal language of video games. I don't need to kill all the zombies you run into because this game is a lot more linear than the previous games as well. You do kind of blow through environments quite quickly sometimes. Okay, we're in our second save room now, so let's talk about some things. You put this away, put you away, put you away, put you away, put you away, just because we need some inventory space for our reloading tool. So, this game has gunpowder in it. It has kind of one of the earliest crafting systems that I've seen in an action game. So you get gunpowder A and gunpowder B. Gunpowder A, when you combine it with the reloading tool, will turn into handgun ammo. Gunpowder B will turn into shotgun ammo. If you combine gunpowder A and gunpowder B together, it turns into gunpowder C, which if you then combine with the reloading tool, it will make magnum ammo. You can also combine gunpowders with grenades as well. I believe gunpowder B makes acid rounds, gunpowder A makes flame rounds, and gunpowder C makes new ice rounds or nitrogen rounds or whatever they're called. Nitrogen rounds being the strongest things that we want. But for now, I'm going to combine triple A, and you can see that's given us a decent amount of ammo already, which we're about to use all of it. Let's get the shotgun back out. Let's get some healing items out. Let's save it actually. And we'll replace this with some more mixed herbs, and we can put this away. Cool, okay. Cool, let's carry on. Ignore the doggos for now. I do like the backgrounds on this game though, like they are pushing the PlayStation 1 to its absolute limit with this game. This is the PC version again with the classic Rebirth mod, but even on PS1 it's still pretty good. Not lower res, but still pretty good. Like adding particle effects over the backgrounds and things like that. Out of all of the pre-rendered Resident Evils, prior to the remake 1, this one's probably the best looking one, I think. Even with the lower res character models. Or lower poly character models, I should say. Here's another example of them adding real-time effects over the backgrounds. So, this is the RPD from the second game. We'll talk about that in a bit, but we're like, what? Barely... what, 20 minutes into the game, and we've murdered our way across a couple of city blocks already. It's all been incredibly linear, so I think it's pretty clear what style they're going for here, the more action-heavy approach. And it's fine, right? It makes sense. We're not hunkered down in a police station for safety or slowly working our way around a dusty old mansion anymore. You know, our girl Jill here, she's done with that. The city's on fire, everything's gone to hell, she is getting out of this city. So, I did say that this is still a survival horror game though, right? So, how are they going to add in all the necessary tension and decision making required to really call this survival horror? Well...
Jill!
Brad!
We've gotta... Jill!
I did it! I did it! Oh, it's still tense, right? So this guy, this is the final boss of the first game, only stronger, faster, more dangerous, more intelligent, way more resilient. And here he is at the start of the game, straight away. And the rest, you see him, he absolutely totals Brad, and then you see him, and the game's like, so, do you want to fight this guy? This is the Nemesis. An awesome, awesome monster design, I think. I think out of all of Resident Evil, this is one of the best monster designs that they have. And he's here to stay. Like, he looks dead now, but spoilers, he ain't. So this fella's out for some Jill sandwich, right? Like, he's hunting us down. And this game, it's going to give us a whole bunch of healing items, lots and lots of ammo, lots and lots of weapons, but fighting the big lad? That's a huge drain on your resources, as you just saw. He does not go down easily. I've used like half of my ammo fighting him, like half of my handgun bullets fighting him. But you probably want to fight him because he drops items. Very, very good items. When I get the Eagle Parts B in just a sec, or later on in the game, you're going to see how strong these items actually are. But it's probably like the hardest thing that we've encountered in Resident Evil so far, in the whole franchise so far. It kind of makes Mr. X look like, well, a prototype, right? But when I say he's a drain on your resources, I mean it. I mean, the way that he works is that you knock him down, and he'll stay down for a bit, but then he gets back up again. Then you have to knock him down again. So he'll stay down now until the next time that you have to fight him. I say have to fight him, like you don't have to fight him, I could have run away. But to take him out completely, just for one encounter, it takes 49 handgun bullets. Or 22 shotgun shells. Which is why I couldn't kill a lot of zombies on the way here, and I used 2 healing items as well, so he's a massive drain on your resources. So you don't just fight him ad hoc, right? Oh, not to mention that you can't really stay on caution either, because if you get knocked down and he grabs you in caution, he can just kill you there and then in one hit. So again, big drain on the resources. So you don't just fight this guy ad hoc, right? You really need to make a conscious decision about whether or not it's worth fighting him, or if you even have the resources to do it. Not to mention that you kind of have to execute as well, like he's not that easy to fight. Not with this control scheme anyway. I think this tweak to gameplay is brilliant. Like, do you really want to be now wasting all of your ammo and healing on these zombies when there's this 7-foot tall slab of pure rage that could pop up at any moment? Now, don't get me wrong, his encounters are fixed throughout the game. We're not quite at the point of having a monster be like an organic ambient threat, but on a first playthrough, you don't know that. You don't know when he's going to show up or how often. On subsequent playthroughs you do, but then it just becomes this curveball that you need to plan around. Decisions need to be made when you're planning out your route. He fits perfectly into the design that they've worked so hard over these 3 games to get balanced and get right. This one additional element though, this wrench that they throw into the core gameplay experience, that's already been solidified at this point, I think it makes this game a triumph, to be honest. But there are things that hold this game back from me saying that it's perfect, and I will touch on these later on, but retrospectively, having played the modern remakes, taken as a product of its time, this is pretty good. This is pretty good design. No time for that now though, we have music nostalgia. Because we're in the police station from the second game. Also, we picked up this. One of the other rewards you get for downing the Nemesis is you get Brett's stars card, which you'll see in a sec we can use. And this will allow us to bypass some of the police station that would need to do otherwise if we didn't kill Nemesis. So this is the area of the police station that we have. We don't have access to the whole thing, because that would be too fun. Due to the emergency, the key to the STARS office has been moved to the evidence room. Today's password for the safe is 4312. I need to remember that because 4312. Because the puzzles on this game are randomized, which probably makes speedrunning horrible, but I do quite like how it's randomized. You'll notice that some of the doors are boarded up. So this door's boarded up as well. So you're probably thinking, well, when does this take place then? And I believe this is taking place before Claire and Leon get here. Like some time before. Overall, the Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 3 game, it takes place before, during and after the events of Resident Evil 2. I do actually need to take these guys out. Let's not use all of my shotgun ammo though. But I do need to take these guys out for one reason, which I'll get into later. Someone has made quite a mess in here. Welcome, Leon. Did they fix the typo? They did not. I imagine they're actually just using the same images from the second game. Imagine if a game did that nowadays. Just reused an environment like this. People would be up in arms. I mean, this game came out like less than 12 months after Resident Evil 2, I believe. And they're just flat out reusing elements. And it was fine back then. It's RPD officer Marvin Branner. He's been fatally wounded by zombies. He appears to be holding something in his hand. Marvin's report. September 24th, there were reports of a theft in the municipal building before dawn. A jewel-decorated clock at the main gate was damaged. 2 of the 12 gems that are installed on the face of the clock are missing. Due to the lack of available officers at the time, I have no choice but to suspend the research of this case. September 26th. Based upon an autopsy report of a 42-year-old restaurant owner, I have discovered that he has one of the mission gems. He apparently took shelter in the police department at about 10 AM, where he was shot to death within 10 minutes of having developed the symptoms. Since the city is currently under martial law, we are forced to suspend this case. At this time, we'll keep this gem as evidence. So that's another thing that we need, but first of all, we need to get ourselves over to an item box. So here's the gem, but we can't carry any more items right now. And this one's locked with a number-based lock. And the number for this was 4312. But we can't carry any items yet. Luckily, we remember from Resident Evil 2 that there's an item box just around here. Oh, I can't get past. Waste. Oh, I hesitated. Don't hesitate. Just run. Never hesitate. The safe room music almost seems darker, doesn't it? So there are a number of things we need to pick up, really. We need that blue gem. We missed a bunch of healing items. Luckily, we can do this now. I don't think we need this for a little bit. Eagle Parts A we can do without for a while. Cool. David's memo. My sanity is at its end. I still can't believe this is happening. We lost another man yesterday, Maya, one of our better marksmen. He saw me panic once when we were overrun by the zombies, but he came back to save me. But when the time came to return the debt, I ran. I can still hear him calling out my name, I can still hear the screams coming from behind. The sound of his flesh being stripped from its bones. I was afraid, terrified. It's the 27th. The fight to stay alive continues. I took out several zombies who managed to break through the barricades, but now I'm currently cutting through the chill with whiskey, unloading my Mossberg and anything undead. That shotgun's become a close friend of mine. I've blasted many a zombie into fertilizer with it. We lost 13 men as of yesterday. In 3 hours, we'll bicker over trivial things in the meeting room. It's a total waste of time. When I finish this bottle, my old friend Mossberg will be turning on one last body into fertilizer. Peace at last, I can hardly wait. Dark. Dark room. So that kind of reinforces to us that this outbreak happened over about 3 days. So it started about 2 days ago, and this is September 28th now, which is the same time that Resident Evil 2 took place. So that's how I know that. Because the memos kind of confirm that. We're gonna fight a lot of zombies, so what I'll probably do is just take this with us but not the ammo. Is there anything in here? There is. Gunpowder. As far as this gunpowder is concerned, we will keep this in the box. So the statues are gone, red gem's gone. Oh, there's a dude there, I did not know that. That's what I get for explaining things. So as far as continuity goes, it doesn't match exactly. Oh, I went the wrong way. It doesn't match exactly with Resident Evil 2. But I mean, it's still cool, I think. Okay, we need to go back to the item box because we need that key. So this key has an emblem on it, which is the, if I can press the button right, the STARS emblems. This is the STARS key for the STARS office. We also need this blue gem for later. So I gotta kill you because I can't get past you. I can't get past you either now, I don't think. Okay, he's really fast, so... Okay, we should be good now. See, people say you can't dodge zombies with tank controls, but you absolutely can. You just have to be a little bit more patient. So we have 2 green herbs left to pick up. So I must remember when we go back out to take these red herbs with us. I think we can get away with the shotgun now. I don't think we need it just yet. I need to make sure I got the inventory space to pick everything up with. Okay, he lunged. That's not fair. Luckily Jill can take more damage now than she could on the first game. She's been practicing getting bitten. So on here we have the lockpick for Jill, the master of unlocking, on her desk. The lockpick actually takes up an inventory slot now, which I think sucks. But, you know, it is what it is. We get lots of ammo from Barry's desk. Marksman contest winner, Chris Redfield. It's the desk of Wesker, Captain of Stars. Fax from Kendo Gunshop. To the fellas of Stars, I have some good news for you from my brother Joe. He has finalised the handgun for official use. It is the M92F Stars Special, but he calls it the Samurai Edge. It's the most balanced of the Kendo custom guns. Joe said, if you miss the targets of this, you should carry a teething ring instead of a gun in your holster. The goods will be delivered along with their proper documentation. I'm sure you'll be surprised when you see what kind of excellent parts are used for the M92F. I know that you'll want to thank the good people who developed it. Sincerely, Robert Kendo, Kendo Gunshop. Samurai Edge being the iconic, the iconic weapon for the rest of the series. Oh damn it! It's not what I wanted. So this is randomized. You either get the Magnum or you get the grenade launcher. The Magnum is the worst choice. The grenade launcher is much more versatile and you get more ammo for it. It's easier to make ammo for as well. That's not good. That's gonna make the game harder.
No! Come anyone! Our platoon is cut off! No survivors found! This is Carlos! Send in support immediately!
Carlos. Be meeting him soon. Okay, we actually came here for the lockpick, so we're done now. A smashing sound. I wonder what that could be. The soundtrack's changed. The big lad's back. So I'm going to show you something really cheesy now. You'll notice that he follows us. Ow! That's not usual. Ow. If we go into here, kind of breaks him a little bit. Which is the best way to fight him here, if you're going to. You may also notice he has a goddamn rocket launcher. I mean, may as well use this on him, right? So that'll put him down quite quickly. It is a very strong gun. Oh, I hate it when he does that. Because that just wastes all of your healing items. I'm not going to cheese him every fight, like there are a number of ways you can cheese his pathfinding and stuff like this. I'm not going to do it every time, I just wanted to show it to you. There we go, you're not so big, not so tough. And that will give us the Eagle Parts B. I used the Magnum on him because I didn't want to totally cheese it, so there's my punishment for cheesing it. You also notice the zombies are gone, so that's cool. Okay, so we'll dump this in the box for now. And we'll keep those out because we have both the parts now, so we can create the Eagle 6.0. An STI Eagle 6.0, a custom-made gun for competitions. It uses 9mm parabellum rounds. This gun is amazing. It's probably my favourite gun in the game, to be honest. I just want this to be in the correct order. So let's do some quick cleanup while I explain how awesome this gun is. This gun, it fires very quickly, it reloads very quickly, and there's a 1 in 8 chance that every shot you take will decapitate a zombie. Or, namely, there's a chance that every 1 in 8 shots is as strong as a Magnum shot. It's very good. It kind of trivializes the game. One thing that I've always found really weird about what a lot of video games do, it's not just this one, a lot of video games, they kind of reward you with really strong weapons for doing something really difficult. So in this case, I've been rewarded for killing the Nemesis twice now, right? I cheated the second time, but I did it right, I did it myself the first time. So there's there's my credentials, my Resident Evil credentials are up to snuff. But I've killed the Nemesis twice, why do I need a strong gun now? I've kind of proven that I don't need it, right? But it's given me one. If anything, I need the strong weapons if I'm struggling. And I've never understood games that do that. I get having a nice reward for it, but I don't need it, really. Like, this will trivialize the game quite a bit. So, because I've got the Magnum, my routing around the game is going to change a little bit, which, you know, I complain, but it is cool, right? I need to work with what I've been given by the game, so now I'm not going to be making as much Magnum ammo, because I don't like that gun that much in this one. It's really powerful, but I don't think it's worth the gunpowder. So I'm instead going to be making more handgun bullets. If I had the grenade launcher, I would have been saving this for ice rounds, because ice rounds are very strong against Nemesis. You can go in here, I don't think you need to. There's doggos as well. You have to go that way if you don't kill the Nemesis at the entrance, because you need to get Jill's Stars card to get the code for the safe. But because we killed Nemesis, we got Brad's Stars card instead. So we got to miss out a few rooms, which is cool. I forgot to get a healing item out. Oh well. We can now leave. Brad's gone as well, you may notice. Brad's headed off to Resident Evil 2 now. To be a bonus enemy. What I'm going to do is just quickly time are we on? Cutting it fine too. I might leave it here actually, because I don't remember where the next part is. The next safe room will be. So next time we will be, I believe, heading over to a restaurant and finding the green gem. We have a blue gem, there's also a green gem that we need to find. And we'll just kind of be going from there, so I look forward to seeing you then. Bye bye!